Okay, guys, real quick, we got Miami is up. Their pick is in. What do you guys think?
Tremaine Edmonds. Linebacker, I think they need to shore up the defense, so I'm going with him.
I mean, you can throw a dart at the board for what position the Dolphins need help in right now. I'm going to go with Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think he's the best player on the board right now.
I mean, that's really it. What are the Dolphins trying to accomplish? I mean, it seems like they're in a total rebuild. They really don't need quarterback. I mean, honestly,
it could be anybody.
It could be anybody.
It could be anybody
It's
at this
almost
point. That's why
impossible to
I
tell.
would say go with the best guy, and I think Minkah Fitzpatrick is rated the best guy. So that's what I'm going to go with.
I'm going to go with that as well just because you've picked better than
I'm
me
going
so
with
far.
James's pick.
I was about to say that.
I can't fall behind anymore.
I just hope whoever it is has a much better suit on than that.
What didn't you like about his suit? It was a blue suit.
What did I like? Everything was awful. The color was bad. The cut was bad. It was horrible.
We're going to start talking about the Jags new uniforms now, too?
No, I like those.
Fashionistas.
That's right. All right, the pick is in. Let's see what the Dolphins do. All right, Minkah Fitzpatrick it is.
Exactly, like I said.
I did it.
No, that's a suit.
He was the best player available,
Man.
according to a lot.
Where do you get the money for those chains at? Come on.
Credit card, man. He was getting paid after tonight.
He went to Alabama. He's got stacks.
Yeah, exactly.
At the 11th pick, they got the Defensive Player of the Year and the nation's top defensive back.
Impressive.
That's
a good
yeah.
haul.
That's a haul at 11.
Mm-hmm. That's what not needing a quarterback does. Which, according to Jason,
According to me, they got the best one in the league.
Yeah, and definitely in the division.
I just like Tannehill's game, man. He is really good on the run. He's really accurate, and he's got the arm strength at 20 yards to make every throw.
He did have a good season the year before
he got
last.
hurt. Absolutely.
He did have a good
So
season.
that's my thing. Have we seen enough of him in the pros to really put the franchise on him, you know?
I have.
Well, I guess so.
I mean, apparently they have too.
So
I mean, the problem you're never going to know this year because
Yeah.
they just have nobody. They traded Landry. I mean, who's he
They
throwing to?
got rid of Sue.
Yeah, I mean, so they got rid of Ajay. I mean, they're not helping him out. That's for sure. No real pick so far that, besides maybe McGlinchey, but even I think we all say that we're not really in love with him to begin with. Whoever the Jags wanted to get, they're doing okay.
Yeah, they have to be chomping at the bit at this point. I think the trend is definitely going in their favor.
They picked so late, though. It's so hard to know.
It is. But we do have Tampa Bay coming up next. And I'm going to go ahead and say, because I'm continuing to keep my dream alive. If I was being realistic, I think they're going to take Derwin James, but I'm going to not say that. And I say they go Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech, with the 12th pick in the draft, just because I really want Derwin to still stay on the board.
I'm just going to keep saying Derwin James to be the dream crusher.
I really hate to go against James here, but I'm going to say Derwin James.
Just holding out hope, man.
I feel you, man.
But I tell you what, if they get him, they have won the draft so far because they've traded back and they still got the guy that a lot of people said they were going to get in the first place.
No, it was a great move.
I'm going to go Vita V.
Defensive tackle?
Yep, Washington.
Okay. We'll see. We're on a commercial break right now, so we're going to...
Since we're on a commercial break, let's just look up Tannehill's stats. In the last 5 years, Ryan Tannehill has had 106 touchdowns, 66 interceptions with a 63% completion rating.
Over the last 5 years?
Over the last
Does that
5
include
years.
last year?
Does not include last year, no.
Okay.
Because he got hurt in the
66
preseason. 66 picks, 106 touchdowns
So that's roughly 13 picks a year.
with almost 20,000 yards.
I mean, with that team, I mean, you're right. It's not bad.
Well, it makes sense then that, well, they weren't going to go quarterback there anyway, but yeah, so who knows? But again, it's kind of a moot point because what I think that does is maybe change my perception of who's going to have the first pick in the draft next year. And if Andrew Luck can't throw the ball, it's the Colts all the way.
I agree. Because I think the AFC South has gotten a lot better.
Here's the thing to remember, too. I know we don't like Nelson because being in our division, but he's not going to block Ngakoue. And if Campbell's rushing on the end, he's not going to block him either. So you're still going to have the guys on the edge coming in. I think he's someone we can definitely, it's not going to cause us too much problems.
I mean, I think at this point, the kind of shocking things so far are, first of all, that I guess it shouldn't be shocking, but the Browns might have blown it again somehow, some way, which is amazing to me. I really didn't think they were going to do that this year, but it's definitely possible. And then secondly, that almost all the quarterbacks aren't gone.
Well, I mean, we're 12 picks, 11 picks in, and there's really only, they said possibly 6 quarterbacks can be taken. That means there's 2 more on the board.
Yeah, I really thought if Lamar doesn't go soon, I'll be surprised, honestly.
What blows me away is like we all knew that Cleveland was going to blow one of the picks, but like we should have known they were going to blow both of them. Like,
We don't
both
know yet.
picks.
We don't know that they blew. I think
We know they blew both picks.
They definitely blew it with the 4th pick. I don't know about Mayfield. I have some hope in Mayfield. I think he can do some things.
No, I think I agree, but there's no guarantees there. But I mean, that cornerback, we should spend the break finding someone somewhere that can tell us why they picked him there.
I mean, if they had picked any of the 4 quarterbacks that have been taken so far, we could be saying the same thing.
Sure,
You know what I
no,
mean? Like
true.
they blew it with Josh Allen. They blew it
Yeah,
with
but if
Josh
they would have
Rosen.
picked Darnold or Rosen, I wouldn't have said that.
And then follow that up with Chubb or Barkley. I mean, that's 2 good picks.
Well, they couldn't have gotten Barkley because he went second. So that's
Chubb
not their
or,
fault.
you
But
know?
Chubb, absolutely.
Buccaneers pick is in.
Oh,
Hey.
Robert's on the board. Actually, you said Barkley too.
Nailed it.
Oh man, I
got
like
2.
this guy.
Wow.
He's a
It's
beautiful
Maui.
there.
Man, the Redskins are probably upset because everyone had him
Yeah.
being mocked
Dude,
for the
that's
Redskins.
Maui from
Moana.
Moana. Thank you. It's Maui from Moana.
It's The Rock.
It
But
is.
does he sound like The Rock? Let's hear. He's happy.
Wow, he went way higher than people thought.
Okay, let's look real quick.
That is a big boy.
I mean, Washington.
Well, he is a mountain of a man.
He is. He's.
And hair.
Is that,
Now you're talking about the Jags going from 29 to 13. That's not a huge.
That's not-
That's a lot more realistic than going into the top 10.
no, I think the Jags war room is on fire right now.
Yes. Okay, so about 3 minutes left until the Redskins make their selection. It'll be the 13th pick of the draft. That means the Jags have 3 minutes to make a trade and announce Derwin James at the podium. I'm still crossing my fingers for that one. It's still a possibility. And because of that, I don't know. They got Alex Smith. So are we gonna see a first skill position player on the offensive side of the ball taken? Well, we got Barkley. Besides Barkley, maybe are we gonna see a wide receiver here? Are we gonna see possible tight end? They have Jordan Reed at tight end, so that I doubt that. I'm just kind of thinking outside the box here. What do you guys think? The pick is officially in, which gives us a couple minutes to actually predict.
Well, like Jason said a minute ago, everyone had them getting Vita, but I think they're going to stay with defensive tackle. I'm going to say Deron Payne of Alabama.
Okay, I hope you're right. Anyone got any other picks?
I'm going to say Calvin Ridley. Wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
Alabama.
First
okay.
wide receiver taken. Okay. Joey?
I definitely think, like Robert said, they've got to do something to shore up their run defense. The run defense was atrocious last year. Whether it's Deron Payne or another defensive tackle, yeah, they're going to go that route.
Okay. I'm gonna stick with the guy that I thought Tampa Bay was going to take, and I'm going to say Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech. Although I would not be surprised at all if they go with Calvin Ridley either. Oh, Robert, 2 for 2.
Nice.
Are those back-to-back picks?
It is.
Wow. I like it. Derwin keeps falling. I mean, I don't know anything about this guy.
So the fact that Derwin is falling, does that go back to the fact that he mailed it in last year?
I don't care. I don't care why
nationally,
he's
maybe.
falling. In other words, I mean, maybe it is. If it is, again, that's just to the Jaguars' benefit.
I mean, if you're not local, if you're not from this area, maybe nationally that put a bad taste in some people's mouths.
yeah, you're right. It very well could have. And again, all the better for the Jags. Now they're trading up. Again, this is all me. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but now it's a 15-pick leap. It's more and more realistic.
I thought there was no chance earlier, but there's definitely a chance now.
It's definitely making things interesting. Now you got Green Bay. Here's Green Bay. I'm going to go ahead and say they take Derwin James. I think that would make total sense. But I don't know. I've been wrong lately.
A lot of
I
people-
should have stopped after the top 10. All right, we have a trade. New Orleans has traded up to pick 14 from Green Bay.
Wow.
This is interesting.
Because, yeah, they were going to go tight end, it seemed like, in the first round. No longer. So
what is
are
New
they
Orleans
gonna
trade?
fill?
Are they trade? They're not. You don't trade up to get the guy that's going to be the quarterback in 2 years, right?
No. I mean, they've got quarterback, they've got running back, they've got I don't know.
They have the rookie of the year on defense and offense, but the defense rookie of the year is a corner. So do they go Derwin James here and out of the secondary, or do they go somewhere else? This is real. This is Jason's got a smirk on his face.
I definitely didn't see that coming.
I'm at a loss, to
Yeah.
be honest with you. I smirked because I'm going to say Marcus Davenport again. I think he goes here. I just think he goes here. I think he's been evaluated as one of the top edge rushers. Tremaine Edmonds is good, but people are talking about Marcus Davenport being freaky. I don't know. It just seems like a fit in New Orleans to me.
I mean, he really is the only other like legitimate pass rusher in the draft, right?
It would make sense because they don't have that.
Tremaine Edmonds hasn't gone yet, has he?
No.
So
Okay.
No, I think
Edmonds
it's
and
between
Davenport.
those two guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Edmonds. I don't know. I don't really know why they would trade up at this point in time.
I think it's because, to me, you don't trade up for a linebacker, but you do trade up for a defensive end.
It's true.
And so I think they're going to go Davenport here. Still a bold move. New Orleans was the 27th pick, and they traded up. The Jaguars are the 29th pick.
Yeah.
If the New Orleans doesn't take Derwin James here, the Jaguars, I mean, they've got to do it.
Yeah,
They've got
they
to
have
do
to.
it.
They have to.
And if they do it, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh my goodness gracious. I think it's going to happen, boys. And if it does, I'm going to lose my mind.
If it does, I may shed a tear.
Yeah.
A tear or two.
I mean, my gosh, what a way to replace Aaron Colvin too. I mean, you could have him running safety and pretty much picking up that side of the
And
field.
linebacker.
And
Dude can play
linebacker,
every
I mean,
He
position,
can.
man.
He can
Gosh,
play.
I mean-
he can play all the positions that
Man.
have question marks right now. There's
Yeah.
only two really, but even listen, he could start over Gibson.
I mean, Church, his contract is up next year, and I doubt we re-sign him. He's
Yeah.
kind of old. I love him, but he's kind of old. So we're probably not going to re-sign him. We're going to need a safety next year.
Yep. It's way more realistic now than it was even 30 minutes ago.
I agree.
Very true. I mean, since we have a commercial break here, what about the fact the wide receiver position, in my mind, the value has changed drastically.
You mean overall in the NFL?
Overall in the NFL. I mean, to me, you're looking at, you've got 3 or 4 top wide receivers, and then the drop-off is huge.
Yeah. It's funny because it switched with running back. Where
Yeah.
running back, just before Ezekiel Elliott got drafted, that was an overrated position. Now we've seen running back go 4, 4, and 2 in the last 3 drafts.
Lots of trading too.
They gave up a first-round pick next year to move up 10
Oh.
spots.
Dude, they've
Well, to be fair, it was what?
That's got to be
12.
Derwin.
12 spots.
That's got to be
A
Derwin.
first-round pick.
DJ,
Listen, I love Derwin.
DJ
I don't
is
know
gone.
I don't know if you do that. I don't know if you do that for Derwin.
Who else do you do it for, though?
Yeah, who?
At this point,
I don't know. I don't know.
Ridley.
No. Who's going to take him?
Let's-
Who's next? Who's coming up?
The New Orleans Saints select
Let's hope it's Davenport.
Marcus Davenport.
Got it. I finally got one.
Wow.
All right.
Does that count? Does that count? I know I said a couple players, but do I
Yeah.
get, do I
Yeah,
get
we're
one
gonna
for that
give.
one?
Yeah,
I
we'll
need
give you
one.
that.
I need one, guys.
All right. The
All
Saints picked Marcus Davenport, defensive. I think I technically said it too before we all said Lamar. Before we were.
I'm pretty sure we all said it.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
not all
yeah.
jump on this. All right? I need this, guys. I need this. I've yet to
Well,
be right.
Well,
Okay.
we're gonna play back the audio later and see just exactly what.
Oh,
everyone
no,
said.
I'm gonna
We're
edit
give
it
We're gonna give it to Jason. We're gonna give it to
don't
Jason.
edit
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was really, really highly touted. People have been saying this guy might be the most underrated player in the entire draft, mainly because he went to Texas San Antonio, which is a school that doesn't get a lot of attention. But, I mean, this guy's intangible. He's 6'5".
Yeah,
I
he's a
mean,
big boy.
Super athletic.
He looks great in glasses. I mean,
Sure.
come on.
That was a Joey comment right
Yeah,
there.
it was.
I did not say that.
No.
Well, about his backstory, let me.
That's
Hey, they
he must
seem-
be really good. That cost them 2 first-round picks.
They seem pretty pumped.
We'll see. Again, another player not named Derwin James off the board. Now you have Oakland coming up, who's already traded back once. Would Oakland trade back again to accumulate more picks? And if so, let me ask you all this while we're on a commercial break. If you're the Jaguars and you wanted Derwin James, and this is all hypothetical, what would you be willing to give up to right now trade up with Oakland to get that pick?
I give him a second and third.
Yeah.
So
Like I said at the beginning, I'd give up all our picks
yeah,
to move up.
we don't have a 6th-round pick. Is that what we don't have?
We don't have a 6th.
It's a fifth.
We don't have a 5th, but we have 2 7ths.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dave Caldwell has done tremendous
Absolutely.
drafting in the later rounds. So I say, yeah, I'd give up their 2nd and 3rd to get Derwin James. Then you still have your 4th and 5th and 2 7ths.
I think that's crazy talk. Again, I wouldn't. I mean, we need to address tight end. We need to address offensive line.
We have 18 tight ends on the roster.
Yeah, and they don't equate to like one dominant tight end. That's the problem. So
tight end is such an
okay, regardless,
that's the overvalued
throw
position.
tight end out the window. I mean, I think
Safarian
there's
Jenkins
way.
might be a top 10 tight end in the league.
I think there's way better value picks than giving up extra picks for him.
and Niles
I just
Paul
disagree.
is a great backup tight end. Not to mention Koyak, who we all love. I mean, we got just 3 tight ends that some teams don't even have that good of tight ends.
I'd rather
Listen,
them,
this is
I'd rather
an
them
elite
trade back.
tight end class, and there is yet to be one taken. I think there's just
Great.
there's just not a lot of value put on tight end. I think rightfully so.
I'd rather them trade back and grab a couple wide receivers, tight end, offensive. I mean, I'd rather have more picks. I'm sorry. I
You
just
can
wouldn't do
get
it.
Ian Thomas, tight end from Indiana. I love him in the 6th round.
The thing is, what are the Jaguars gonna do with more draft picks this year? There's only they lost. Here's the significant players they lost from last year. On offense, they lost Omame and Allen Hurns. Is that it? And then on
Mercedes
defense,
Lewis, if you count him.
yeah, okay. But then they've already
Chris Ivory, if you count him.
Chris Ivory. That's who
Count
I was
him.
thinking of. But Mercedes Lewis, they've already replaced. So Amame, Chris Ivory, and Allen Hurns, and who they've already replaced. On defense, Colvin, and that's it.
I don't
So
think.
where are these draft picks going to
'cause
go?
I don't think they've replaced Hearns. First of all,
They lost
They did.
Buzz. They lost
well, no,
Buzz.
they
lost. Okay, they
tried
lost
to
Paz.
have. I mean, I don't think we don't know if they replaced Hearns. We don't know what Moncrief's going to do.
Okay.
We don't. I mean, they've attempted to.
They've
but
attempted to.
Why not back that up with another set of people and you take who's best and go from there? You cut the rest of them. I mean, trading back is even better because you don't pay them as much.
I don't know. Well, okay, we do know that Oakland has not traded. Their pick is in. But going back to the conversation at hand, I just don't see what the point in stockpiling picks is right now when we only have – there's only a certain number of spots. There's only a certain number of spots that you can play.
I agree.
And so why bring in all these guys for the sake of bringing them in when if you can hit a home run with one player that is going to make a huge difference, right from day one.
That's your opinion.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm saying it.
I know. But point being is dudes fall into the middle of the first round now. There's obviously questionable, and I've said this for like 3 podcasts now. I don't like the fact that he mailed it in last year, regardless of the coaching situation, regardless of anything else. That shows bad character in my mind.
A lot of players mail it in. Clowney,
I wouldn't want them either.
Chief mail it in, and Clowney might be the best defensive end in the league.
He went number 1 overall.
All right. Well, with the Oakland pick in, who do y'all think is gonna who do you think they're gonna pick up? Joey,
Derwin James.
Derwin James, Jason, James. How about James?
I'll go. I'm gonna say
I'm gonna say
Gasecki. Is that his name? How you say
Mike Gesicki.
I'm gonna say they take Mike Gesicki.
This early?
Yeah, because I don't think they have one. I don't know what John Gruden's going to do. I think he's going to be somewhere on offense. And so I'd say tight end, pass catching tight end to help
All
out Derek Carr.
He's coming up quickly, Jason.
Connor
You got one?
Williams, tackle Texas.
Okay, I'm going Isaiah Wynn, offensive tackle, Georgia.
He did have a labrum injury.
Colton Miller.
None of us got
Oh,
one.
another tackle.
Colton Miller.
UCLA.
Colton
Yeah.
Miller.
All right, I knew it was going to be a
Tackle
tackle.
UCLA.
That's solid.
Can I get a half point for that?
No.
No,
Dang
come
it.
on.
All right.
Well, I'll give you a half if I can have a half. I went tackle.
You guys
too,
are
so.
embarrassing yourself at this point. Yeah.
That's fair. I agree. I think Connor Williams is a better tackle, but I'm not surprised to see them take a tackle because Gruden seems like the kind of guy that wants to protect his franchise quarterback.
Definitely.
Well, that's what you do when you're a new GM, and you build interior in the interior. So yeah, that makes total sense. The story continues. We're on pick 16 now. That's a 13 pick jump
Come on,
for the
Dave.
Jags
In another pause,
with
we
Baltimore, who could use draft picks. By the way,
that's a good
Baltimore
point.
could use draft picks.
I'm going Lamar Jackson with Baltimore. I think this is where he goes.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, we have another trade.
Oh, never mind.
The Bills traded up. Do they go? No, they didn't go Lamar Jackson. They just got
They drafted
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
So they're definitely not. Okay.
They actually might be the ones that grab Tremaine Edmonds.
These trades are.
There's a lot more trades
Colton
than anybody
Miller.
anticipated.
Was the tackle the Raiders just took was rated by a lot of people to be like not even a first or second round pick.
Yeah.
Classic Raiders, right?
Yeah, but this is a new Raiders regime.
Still though,
Is that what $90 million guaranteed gets you?
Okay, let's look up his
Jeez.
combine stats. I guarantee they were like off the chart for whatever it is.
I mean, he's big. He's 6'7". He's 310 now. Probably could hold 320. He's a productive lineman, meaning he can block in multiple different schemes. He's not that strong though. He gets bull rushed easily. He struggled against Texas A&M, one of the only hard teams UCLA played last year. He only played one season at left tackle. I don't know, man. I don't like that pick. I'm gonna say I don't like that pick. I like John Gruden. I don't like that pick.
Is that because it wasn't your pick?
Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I would have taken maybe 3 other tackles above him, though. I thought the Jaguars might get Cole Miller. That's what I'll say about that.
Wow.
I thought he might have gone all the way to the Jaguars pick.
Wow.
To me, I think that's the one thing. And I mean, I've watched the draft obviously for years, but I've never really analyzed it or prepared for it or really put that much thought into it. In looking at mocks, looking at what's going on right now, First of all, I don't think anybody really has any idea.
No,
And
no
that may
one
go
has
all the
a clue.
way up to the GM.
That's why it's so much
You
fun.
know, I mean, it's like a crapshoot, dude. It's like, it's pretty fun.
Okay, real quick, because I think they're about to announce a pick. I think this is where Derwin James comes off the board.
I agree.
I think Buffalo traded up to get him at pick 16.
I'm gonna say Tremaine Edmonds.
I want to be wrong.
Yeah, I'm saying Tremaine
bad.
Edmonds.
Definite possibility. I think I'm doing this to protect my emotions, so if I'm right, I'm not going to be disappointed. I will say this: if they don't get him, the Jags have got to trade with the Chargers because I don't see Seattle passing on him.
No,
He is tailor-made to play for the
he's
Seahawks.
He's a Seattle guy.
And we're on pick 16. Seattle right now sits at 18. So if the Jags want him, and Buffalo doesn't take him, they're going to have to trade with the Chargers.
Tremaine Edmonds.
All right,
There we go.
Jason and Robert were right. Buffalo takes
on a hot streak,
Tremaine
boys.
Edmonds.
I'm
on a
at
hot
4.
streak.
I'm
Yeah.
at 4.
Heating up.
What does the Bills hat say?
Get us out of here.
Oh, their colors.
Believe. I think.
What are they believing in?
I don't know. Better weather.
Tremaine Edmonds, a guy who knows how to tackle. 226 tackles in his 3 years at Virginia Tech. 35 tackles for loss, 10 sacks. Not a bad player. Tall, lean, long, well-muscled guy. Can fit many different systems. Really good run defender. Has a lot of range.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his footage, I mean, he looks like he's got very good technique, and he's long, man. Those arms, dude. Looks like he's got some reach.
He's a tall guy. You don't see a lot of tall guys playing inside linebacker, but he makes it work. He's really good in pursues the ball, can drop well because of his size. Overall, a good prospect. He might end up transitioning to outside and doing some pass rushing, but, yet to be seen.
Chargers are on the board. They have just under 4 minutes to make a pick. Nothing about a trade has been on the TV yet. Does Derwin James possibly get past the Chargers here? I'm going to say this. I think they go Will Hernandez here. I think they go offensive line.
I'm going to say Harold Landry, defensive end out of Boston. I said they're going to go ahead and go with him.
Match with Joey Bosa?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, he's actually smaller, too, so he could always drop back as linebacker as well. I actually originally, when we had our discussion a while back with the Jags picks, I had us going with him, but I don't think he's going to last that long.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to stick with my guy. I'm going to stick with Will Hernandez. Jason, what do you
What
think?
were you going to say? Just wondering.
Calvin Ridley. But I
okay.
forgot about their really good wide receiver they have, whose name escapes me at the moment, who was hurt last year.
Keelan Allen.
Yes.
I feel like it's going to be Derwin, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to say it.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with the reverse jinx and go Derwin James.
Okay. Although you're not for it, so you might have just done us in.
I didn't say I wasn't
It's
for
the
it.
reverse
double
I think
jinx.
he will be a fantastic pick later on in the first round. I just think there's a reason that he's dropping.
Man, I wanted to see the trade alert with the Jaguars logo.
Chargers select Derwin James.
All right.
Oh,
I've
the
been-
dream is over.
Been waiting for that for way too
The
long.
dream is over. Derwin James to the Los Angeles Chargers. Man, now they have a pretty stout secondary all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers, look out. We might be seeing them in the playoffs.
I mean, they're not afraid to make some moves.
No, they choked away a chance in the playoffs last year, and they were hot too. So,
It's a good pick for them. That late, that's a good value pick.
yeah, that's a great pick. Didn't have to make a trade. I mean, they just got to sit there and let him come to them.
He would have fit in perfectly. He would have
What
fit
a-
in
he is-
perfectly with us.
He is a
man.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
He's a Jaguar in a Chargers hat.
I can't believe all the fans that the Chargers have showed up.
Yeah, that's
to-
it. There they are.
To their draft party.
That sells out their stadium right there. They were talking about like if the Chargers were to like go on a run, which is a pretty popular opinion going into next year, like the AFC Championship game being in that soccer stadium will look terrible.
Yeah.
It'll be awful.
Yeah.
What does it seat, like 60,000?
No, I think it's like 30.
Really?
Yeah, 30 or 40.
Wow.
I mean, you might want to fact check me
No,
on that,
that
but
sounds probably
it's-
about right,
I think
yeah.
it's a soccer stadium, so those usually average like what, 40?
Like MLS?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be more than like 35, 40
Yeah.
tops.
And they don't even come close to selling it out. They didn't last year, and they weren't a bad team.
No, they were pretty decent.
It's because it's Los Angeles.
Yeah.
One, it's a new team, but two, I mean, LA is proven to be very fickle fan base because no one lives in Los Angeles. Everyone was from somewhere else.
I will say we have been asking for feedback, and I have gotten a couple funny texts while we've been doing this, so I want to throw those out there.
Okay.
First of all, Alan has mentioned that he puts $5 on the fact that James will not be awake at the time of the Jags pick. So I think that's a pretty legitimate chance with all this downtime in between. So I don't know.
Hey, listen, I had a cup of coffee. If he wouldn't have said that if he follows our Instagram page, because I had a cup of coffee at 2:30. So I'm riding high right now, man. I'm riding in.
His hands are shaking, guys. If you could see him, he's a bit wired.
I'm feeling good, man. I got some adrenaline going here. I'm a little let down now that Derwin's off the board, but Alan, he's an idiot.
All right, well, we'll go with that. There you go, Alan. Take that. Second one was actually from my daughter, Madison. She said she got 4 of her friends today to listen to her podcast. They're listening right now to the previous episode, so thank you very much for that. But then hashtag you can thank me later, hashtag pay up. So,
Okay.
I don't know. So she wants some dollar bills, y'all.
Okay.
They win our advertisement money.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board on that.
Okay, so now we have Derwin's off the board, so we can get a little more realistic here. Their pick is starting to slowly get closer and closer. Got some names up there. Listen, Joey, Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
still on the board.
He's still around. You still got...
Gosh, what if the Jags got him? Still a long way to go.
I mean, he's out there. You've got Hurst out there. You've got Godert out there. You know, you've got Hernandez out there still.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of guys that I'd be absolutely just pumped about getting. So,
DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley,
Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore. Exactly. I mean,
your boy Sonny Michel.
Sonny Michel. I mean, again, man, I think there's a lot of people out there that are going to be really good NFL players that just are sitting there right now. I don't think we can go wrong. I mean, unless we pull a Cleveland. My gosh. Cleveland. It's got to be a curse, right? I mean, how do you do that?
It's a new GM.
I know, so I'm saying it's not
Brand
even the
new
same
GM.
guy. I mean, I was talking about today them making the playoffs next year based on the new, GM, the guys they had, and the picks they had. But I mean,
if they had taken Chubb at 4, I think it would be a good draft.
I agree.
They didn't. It's just too soon to.
I mean, you can take
say-
a flyer on a quarterback. There's nothing wrong with that. But
Yeah.
wow,
All right, the Green Bay's on the clock. Pick 18. About 3 minutes left until they pick. Oh, and actually, it's in, so we'll be getting that
and
pretty
again,
soon.
they did not trade up, so that's kind of interesting.
They traded.
Oh, here it comes.
What do you guys think?
I cannot pronounce his first name, but Alexander out of Louisville. He's a cornerback.
We're going to say Jair Alexander.
Jair. So I'm going to say him. I think they need a sure-up defense for sure over there. I mean, heck, they need a little bit of help offensively too, but I really think they're going to go defense regardless, and I think he's a probably good fit for them.
I'm going to say, they have Montgomery at running back. I was going to say Geis, but I think you might be right, Robert. I'm gonna echo what you just said.
Well, he could be a good punt returner for them as well in the meantime too. So, I mean,
I don't know. I lost the magic around pick 10, so maybe I am getting tired. Maybe Alan's right. I'm starting to fade. Jason, what do you think?
I'm going to say Harold Landry, defensive end, Boston College.
I'm still hoping that he falls to the Jags. I'd be happy with him if it's not Will Hernandez.
I still like Arden Key. I'm not picking him because I don't want anyone to pick him, but
Yeah.
I'm saying Harold
That's the
Landry.
linebacker?
He's a DN from LSU, man. He's my favorite, even my favorite prospects in the whole
I thought you
draft.
said there was a linebacker that you really liked at the beginning of the
Oh,
show.
yeah, Sky Moore from
Okay.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
He's more of a day 2 guy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm going to go with Taven Bryan from Florida, defensive tackle,
That's a good pick.
pocket collapser.
That's a good pick.
I think that'll help him out.
The Beast from Wyoming? Or where's he from?
Florida.
No, but he
With
grew
the
up in.
Oh, yeah,
pick
yeah.
in
I
the
think so. Somewhere out there.
2018 NFL
All right, here we go.
A lot
The
of
Green
trades,
Bay
man.
Packers select
I lost count.
Jair Alexander,
There it is.
defensive back,
Okay.
Louisville.
Well, it's funny that the middle picks are kind of going like we anticipated, and the first didn't.
I don't really have a lot to say about this pick. Cornerback, good job. Let's move on. Green Bay, we don't play him this year.
Hey, you didn't take him at 4th. Way to go, Green Bay.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, can you see him being that much worse than Denzel Ward?
No, not at
No.
all.
No, not at all.
I mean, he's faster,
And
the
that's-
same size. I
It's a
mean,
14 pick difference.
I think he'll be better.
I mean, I think that's
How about this? Between Ward and Derwin James was a, 12 pick difference?
yeah.
Goodness.
I mean, I think that's what's hurting wide receivers so much. Is there really that much difference between the 10th best and the 50th best? There's not anymore.
Wow.
I mean, that gap's just so small now. I think cornerback's kind of similar.
So there hasn't been a wide receiver, tight end, or besides Barkley, a running back taken yet.
Which is crazy.
That is pretty crazy. We're on pick 19 coming up.
Because it's not like there aren't a lot of good ones out there. I mean, there are a handful in each category that are going to be good players.
One linebacker? Only one linebacker, too.
Edmonds.
Yeah. Roquan Smith. Edmonds is considered an edge player.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think only one linebacker has been taken as well.
Wow.
I mean, other than Sky, though, I think it's a pretty weak linebacker.
Oh,
draft,
man.
right?
Malik Jefferson from Texas, Rashawn Evans from Alabama. Leighton Vander Esch, which apparently is like the
Well,
second coming of God.
I like
because
that name. That's a good
everybody
one.
loves him. He's from
Boise
Boise
State.
State. Yeah, he's supposed to be like the most all-around guy there is. But,
Well, there's Shaq as well.
yeah. I mean, the Jags are still looking for a starting linebacker. Let's not forget about that. The only position they don't have a starter at is outside linebacker.
I'm going to go ahead and say Dallas. I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton. He's an SMU wide receiver. I think he's got great hands.
Yeah, he's tall, too.
He's tall. I think that's kind of the system that they run over there, and I think it's probably a good fit for them. So I like Ridley better, but I kind of feel like they're going to probably go Sutton.
I think Des Bryant was right about his tweet. I think the Cowboys go Calvin Ridley here, replace him with a wide receiver from Alabama.
I think we just talked about how down-valued wide receivers are. I'm going to go with Taven Bryan again. I mean, that fits their mold as well. I think he's got to go in the next couple picks.
If I learned anything from tonight, it's to pick what James picks, and I'm going to go ahead and say Calvin Ridley.
My backup's going to be Vander Esch, if that's how you pronounce his name.
He said it way cooler.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how.
You can't make two picks. That's what I do.
I
That's stealing my thunder.
am. I've learned from the greatest.
Well, he didn't make like 4 or 5 picks. Come on now.
Oh, what a terrible hat.
They really are bad. If
They
I
are
said earlier
bad.
that they're not bad, they're terrible.
I have to say they
I
are
take 'em. I take
absolutely
that back.
atrocious.
At what point in time do they stop being America's team, too? I mean, come on
Who
now.
designed the draft hats? Because
New Era.
They are really bad.
Yeah, but Nero usually does
Someone
a
had
pretty
to
good
sign
job.
off on them and go, say, yeah, we'll take those.
Does that mean that we're England's team?
Oh, come on. It's too soon. Too soon.
I mean, if Dallas is America's team, someone's got to be England's team,
2018
and
NFL Draft.
I think we're the front
I
runners.
do
for
not
that.
want to be the right coach team. Come on now.
Leighton Vander Esch.
Okay, that was my
Yeah,
backup.
there it is, yeah.
Kind of wondered about that.
Yeah.
So the NFL guys did get one wrong.
So the Cowboys selected linebacker Leighton Vander Esch, James's backup pick.
That was my backup pick.
6'4", 256, a 4.6 40, which is really good for someone that size. His film was just really good. I question his Mountain West opponents and whether that's really a fair comparison to what he'll see in the NFL, but you know, he does grade out well according to a lot of scouts. So
Yeah, it didn't really help Dak Prescott offensively there, but I guess they feel okay about it. Obviously, Zeke's coming back to run the ball. They needed help on defense, so that's not a huge surprise. I just don't think there's a lot of wow players in the first round of this draft. I think it is a deeper draft, but there's not going to be, at least in my opinion, there's just not a lot of home run guys in this first round. So you take who you can and hope that you can coach them up, and I think that's probably what they're thinking with this guy. So
from a Jaguars' vantage point, that means they're rolling into the season with Allen Hurns as their number 1 because they cut Des Bryant. Cole Beasley is going to be their 2 or 3. Somebody the Jaguars didn't even re-sign is now the Cowboys' number 1 wide receiver. Coming off that injury, that's pretty bold.
Well, he's not a legit one healthy.
He is to the Cowboys.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
by definition, he's not. I mean,
Yeah, but
he is going to be.
Still, I mean, a lot of people thought the Cowboys would pick up a wide receiver there.
I mean, I hope they do because I don't want that to happen to Hearns. I mean, that's a lot of pressure for a guy who should be a 2 or 3. I mean, I want him to do well, and the expectations should not be that high for him.
So the Steelers trade wide receiver Martavis Bryant, who has had issues with the Steelers in the past, contractually and playing time issues. He was traded to the Raiders for a 3rd-round pick, which is the 75th pick overall, which for the Raiders is a good pick. And you know, a couple of us said the Raiders were going to pick a wide receiver with their pick, and the fact that they just got Martavis Bryant for a 3rd-rounder, it's kind of surprising.
yeah, that's
'Cause
good.
a lot of people thought the Steelers could have traded him last year before the trade deadline for more than that. People were talking about getting a 2nd-round pick last year before the trade deadline for Martavis Bryant, and they got a 3rd this year. So did they hold on to him too long?
At this point, the Raiders are looking pretty strong.
As
far as draft grades go.
That was a good. Yeah, I agree. I think I mean, I'd say Martavis Bryant is absolutely worth a 3rd-round pick. That guy's got a lot of potential, and I think it being more featured, not having Antonio Bryant in front of him, I think it's gonna be a good. He and Cooper.
Amari
That's
Cooper.
a good 1-2 combo.
But his biggest issue is his attitude problems. So
Well, I think maybe Gruden thinks he can fix that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would do it. I would trade a third round pick
yeah,
for him.
I would have done it.
I would trade a second round pick, honestly. I think he's that talented.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was kind of hoping the Jags would go after him in the offseason, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. They decided to go another way, and that's fine. But it's a good overall good pick for Oakland, I think. I don't know, man. Steelers, for me, for some reason, I just think they're descending. I'm not saying they're going to lose the division because it's still a weak division. I had high hopes for Cleveland, but after what they did with pick 4, those hopes are out the window. I just don't know where the Steelers are at. But let's get back to the Jaguars because we're now in the 20s. Detroit Lions have the 20th pick, and they are on the clock. They have just under 3.5 minutes till they pick. Again, going back to what Joey's been saying for a while now, a lot of good talent still on the board for the Jags, now 9 picks away. I don't know a lot about Detroit. I don't really want to give them a lot of time. We don't play them. They're in the NFC. Do you guys have any idea who they're going to take?
A lot of the mocks had them taking Will Hernandez, offensive tackle, and he's still there. So I'm going to go with that just because it was their kind of fit from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, that one makes sense. They could go Calvin Ridley here. They could go DJ Moore. But Hernandez does make a lot of sense. I just don't know I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Detroit and what they need. They got rid of a tight end. Maybe we see our first tight end here.
Very possible.
I think they need edge rushers, and I'm going to go with Harold Landry for them.
I think Harold Landry is a really good pick. A lot of people had Josh Jackson, cornerback from Iowa, really highly valued, and he's still on the board. I mean, some people had him rated higher than Denzel Ward. So maybe someone, takes a chance on Josh Jackson, but the Lions have a lot of needs. So they could go D-line, they could go corner, they could go edge.
I'm actually gonna say they take Geis. I think they need a running back. So I'm gonna go with they don't have anybody at running back that is of any high value. So I'm gonna say let's see another running back off the board. Why not?
Now, at this point, if wide receiver or running back goes, or tight end, do you think a run starts happening?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I think at wide receiver you might see a run. At tight end and running back, I don't think so. But at wideout you might, yeah. That's what I think.
Looking at the teams behind them, after them is Cincinnati, Baltimore, New England. New England, you never know what they're going to do. Cincinnati and Baltimore need so many things, so it's tough to say. But it's possible. It is possible.
Baltimore definitely needs wideouts.
What?
Wow.
Okay.
Just like I called. So the Lions picked center Frank Ragnow from Arkansas, who none of us probably saw coming.
I don't think he's bad. I just didn't see them going with a center here.
I'll say this. NFL.com had him ranked the 40th best player in the draft, and the Lions just took him at 20.
Pretty well in the overall, out of all players.
Just best available of all the players.
Okay.
He was 40. So not offensive line, but just overall players.
I did see a few mock drafts with Cincy picking him up. But I did not think.
James Daniels, center from Iowa. Billy Price, center from Ohio State. Both rated way higher than him.
This mock also has him going to the Bengals at 21 as well. So apparently he is a good center.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine by me. We didn't need a center, and that's.
I needed a little excitement though. So going center, that was good.
Yeah, I know.
I'm jacked
from
up
Arkansas.
now.
Let's not forget
I'm
about
not
that.
tired anymore.
Powerhouse SEC team, and that is the Arkansas
I'm
Razorbacks.
good.
I don't think we need to overanalyze that one.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think anyone could, to be honest with you.
All right, Cincinnati. Pick is in. Pick number 21. We are getting closer and closer to the Jags. Another team like Detroit, we don't play this year. I doubt we'll see them at all because they're not really going anywhere. Any predictions on who you guys think Cincinnati takes? A lot of predictions I hear.
I'm going to go James Daniel, center out of Iowa.
Okay. So we just saw a center taken by Detroit, and Robert thinks we're going to see center.
I totally was going to go with Frank Ragnow on that one, but since Detroit took him, I'm kind of at a loss now. Yeah, I didn't realize the Bengals still had a team.
Yeah, they do. They still are in the
they
NFL.
got uniforms and everything, huh?
Yeah. Not my favorite. I'll say Will Hernandez.
I can't believe he's still out there. So, yeah, that's a good call. So, since James has been the most right, I'll go with Will Hernandez as well.
Jason just refuses to.
I'm not thinking. I'm going to be wrong. Oh, there he is, my boy Billy.
All right.
A lot of people had the Jaguars
Center.
Billy
I thought
Price.
that was Billy for a second. I was like, that guy looks awesome.
So Robert was close. He went with center, but just got the wrong center. Is that Billy Price? Is that the second Ohio State player taken? I think it is.
Yeah, well, Denzel Ward, number
Yeah,
one.
he was inexplicably picked at 4. Still can't get over that one.
Yeah, so a lot of people had the Jaguars because he's going to have the ability to flex to guard position. So a lot of people had the Jaguars mocked getting him. So There's one off the board the Jags were mocked with.
It's really interesting. Will Hernandez
I mean,
still on the
Yeah,
board.
at this point, we have actual guards that are still
Lamar
sitting there.
Jackson still on the board. Calvin Ridley. DJ Moore. A lot of guys.
Hayden Hurst.
Sonny
Goater.
Michel.
Sonny Michel. I mean,
You know, Josh Jackson is still on there. If we really are concerned with DJ Hayden as the nickel corner, Josh Jackson could come in and fill that role.
That's true. That'd be a steal.
I would not mind that at all.
I doubt he falls, though.
only a couple more spots.
I mean, it's not really falling at this point anymore. We're talking about between 22 and 29. That's a negligible difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Billy Price, a lot of people had him going to the Jags because he can run that zone blocking scheme and that power scheme, and he can pull really well. Just an overall versatile lineman, which is the kind of guys that Tom Coughlin likes. So I'm honestly a little upset to see him go because I thought he'd been a good fit in Jacksonville, but good for him. Getting more money.
We have seen a run of offensive linemen. So we'll
Especially
see.
interior guys. You
Yeah.
don't see that happen very often.
Which
But
is what we need. Still no tight end. Still no wide receiver. Only one running back. It's been a light offensive first-round draft so far. Besides, offensive linemen as well. Skill position, just really nothing yet. So a lot of people think, there's a lot of unproven wide receivers for the Jags. Maybe we see them. Sonny Michel. Again, the big wild card. Lamar Jackson. Still
Yeah,
there.
That's true. I've been on him since day one, so I
Oh,
guess
man.
I have to say that. But
All right, so here's something interesting that affects the Jaguars. Tennessee has traded with Baltimore. They've moved up to the 22nd pick, gave up a 4th rounder. They get a 6th round in it, so they moved up 3 spots. The Tennessee Titans do. With Baltimore, who continues to just keep stockpiling picks. Interesting to see what is Tennessee going to do here. They have some needs. The only one they don't need is tight end. We talked about this last week. Their really only star position is tight end. Obviously, they're not going to go quarterback either. New coach. Are they going to try and protect Mariota?
They'll probably go linebacker, either Rashawn Evans out of Alabama or Harold Landry.
yeah, I think Landry.
I'm going to go ahead and say Landry, but it could be Evans.
I think it's
because
Landry,
Mayock
too.
said
They
it.
need an edge rusher.
I want to go first next time because I was definitely going to say Landry.
Okay. Is that everybody saying Landry?
Yeah.
In the 2018
No, I'm going to go
NFL
Evans
draft,
just to be different.
Okay.
The Tennessee
Please be
Titans
Landry.
select Rashawn Evans.
Oh, let's go, Robert.
Let's go.
With a last-second audible.
Dang.
This guy's got sunglasses on
Clutch.
in a dome at night. He's now my favorite player taken.
Looks like every player ever drafted from Alabama.
Yeah. Nick Saban's going, who's that? I've already replaced him and moved on. You can't be excited about playing for Tennessee. You just can't.
No, I mean I did like Rashawn Evans going into the draft, but it doesn't terrify me.
No. Right now, Goodell's saying, I'm sorry you have to wear these ugly uniforms.
Yeah,
They're hideous.
and that hat once again, man. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody's getting fired for that.
So, yeah, it's ugly. This I don't understand. Why everyone in the war rooms of each team, once they've made a selection, they all stand up and hug and cheer and clap. Like, what did they do? They just read a name. I don't get it.
They do that with literally every team.
I know. Every
That's
team does it.
what's, you have to at this point. It's a formality.
All right, New England's on the board. About 2 minutes left. Like New England's going to do, they're going to take every second of it just to make everyone mad. Who do y'all think? Robert?
I'm going to go Will Hernandez. I
Offensive
think
line?
they need offensive line, and I think he's probably, in my opinion, the best one on the board currently. So it's either that or Isaiah Wynn, but I think they go Will Hernandez.
I'm gonna say Josh Jackson, DB from Iowa. Good player. 5 interceptions in his senior year. 17 pass breakups. The kind of guy that Bill Belichick loves to work around.
Okay.
I'm gonna go DJ Moore here. They don't have anybody for Brady to throw to anymore. So
Yeah, I was going to say kind of the same thing. They got rid of Brandon Cooks, so I think they go just to be different, I'll say Calvin, really, but I think it's going to be probably – I think Joey's right. I think it's DJ Moore. I hate New England. Just going to throw that out there first.
it's either gonna be that or somebody nobody's ever heard of that's gonna end up being one of the best players of all time.
With
Yeah,
the
maybe so.
23rd pick
It's more reason to hate
in the
him.
They don't pick first-round players that are that
2018
good.
NFL
They're more
draft,
like 6th round.
Yeah,
The
true.
New England Patriots select Isaiah
There we go.
Wynn.
Hey, my second pick.
Tackle,
Yep. They
Georgia
went offensive line. There's their first offensive lineman.
I'm telling you, they're going to go offensive line twice.
He won't play tackle in the NFL. He'll play guard. But that's okay.
Well, he's a great pick if he didn't tear his labrum last year. That was the guy that tore his labrum. You can ask Baselli about that. I mean, for an offensive lineman, That's shoulder. That's power. That's a tough injury to come back fully from.
I mean, your punch is like what you're almost graded out on exclusively as an offensive lineman, and that your labrum totally affects that.
I mean, he even said last year that he never got past like 85%. So it's a bit risky.
His film was good, but they did have some good running backs running behind him. But his film was good. He opened up a lot of gaps for those guys.
I think if he had not injured himself, he would have gone probably top 15 or so. I mean, he's a stud, but that's a major
just
injury.
Too short, man. 6'2". I mean, I can't think. I mean, I'm not an offensive line expert, but I can't think of any sub 6'4" tackles. To be honest with you,
I mean, he's pushing the threshold for sure.
I mean, 6'2". That's a guard. I mean, if you're 6'2", you barely can play guard. I don't know.
I mean, he can play guard and
That's just a little bit
tackle
taller
if
than
needed.
Baker Mayfield.
That's way taller than Baker Mayfield, to be
Come
fair.
on now. It's the number one pick of the draft you're talking about.
But for a guard, I mean,
Pride of the Browns.
a 6-foot guard is short, and he's pushing 6'2".
And maybe the Browns should look at picking him up so Mayfield can throw over him.
How about this? The Browns picked Baker Mayfield number 1. The guy who they picked 4th overall is 2 inches shorter than Baker Mayfield.
Maybe that's a new trend, short guys.
And plays a position where the opposing team could game plan to never even put him in the game.
Yeah, it's true. Good job, Cleveland.
Didn't Baker get chased down by a security guard? Was that part of the off the field issues that he had?
Yes.
Like literally, a professional athlete at this point got chased down by a security guard.
Chase down is not accurate.
He wasn't fleeing the thing. He was
very inebriated and took like 4 steps into a concrete wall and they tackled him.
All right, fair enough. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, way to go, Baker.
He also let a Division I college get so under his skin that he grabbed his crotch running down the field.
When he got tackled by
Well,
the cop, he said,
I
"I'm
think
going to be the
we've all
number 1
been
pick
there,
one day." Yeah, we'll see.
I mean,
what happens
sometimes
with
you're
him.
so mad, words just don't do the trick.
I mean,
Hands out 2.0.
You know,
I don't get it.
that same team also refused to shake his hand at the beginning of the game before it even
Well,
started.
You can't get. You're the number 1 pick in the draft. You can't shake.
Yeah, but he didn't know that yet.
He wasn't then.
Yeah. He
That's
wasn't
what
there.
you're evaluating him on is his behavior.
No, not at all.
You're
You're
gonna-
him on his play.
Just get him and Antonio Callaway on the
His
same
play-
team. That'll be good.
Okay, compare a crotch grab to beating your girlfriend or Callaway, who has pounds of marijuana in a car with a buddy and can't pass the drug test at the combine. I mean, I think it's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things.
Listen, Michael Jackson grabbed his crotch all the time. People loved him.
But I mean, the way that teams are getting flagged, I mean, those flags can cost you games nowadays.
There are going to be
15
people in that
yarders.
locker room that will not allow him to do that.
On the Browns.
I mean, if I know one
Yeah.
thing about Cleveland, is that they know how to handle their players.
That's right. First, they got to remember who their players are.
They're going to bring Johnny
I mean-
Manziel in as his quarterback coach.
Come on, man.
There's got to be someone on that team that can hold him accountable. I don't know who.
I'm trying to think.
Joe
I'm
Thomas
trying
retired.
to rack my brain
Yeah.
right now. I'm trying to think. Joe Thomas is gone.
Yeah, he retired, so that not him.
I almost wanted Cleveland to be good.
Oh, I know. Josh Gordon.
I really
Totally hold him accountable.
I really like Hugh Jackson. He's one of my favorite coaches, but he got a raw deal going to Cleveland, man.
I don't know. He hasn't won. He has won one game.
I
in 2
know,
years.
but
he still
like,
has his job.
but every coach with prestige vouches for him. It's
mean-
the weirdest thing, man. Every coach loves Hugh Jackson.
It's a cycle.
Did he?
I don't know, man. I like Hugh Jackson just because everyone else does.
Did he
like
ever-
Tony Dungy loves Hugh Jackson. If Tony Dungy loves you, then I'm on board.
Did he ever jump into the lake like he said he was going to?
I'm sure he did. He's a man of his
Yeah.
word.
Sound like
Come on, he's a player's coach.
I can't respect anything Tony Dungy says after he evaluated the New England and Jaguar game. So
really?
Tony Dungy is one of my role models, so
Yeah,
be careful.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Tony
Be careful.
Dungy is is so rock solid.
Okay, we're on pick number 24. Oh my goodness, 29. It takes a long time to get a 29 in the
It
draft.
feels nice, man.
Yeah, it does. We're on pick 24, Carolina. They just signed Greg Olson to a 2-year extension today, so I think we can take tight end off the board. I don't see Lamar Jackson being taken here. They need some weapons for Cam Newton, so I'm going to go with Calvin Ridley, the first wide receiver. I'm going to say Calvin Ridley goes to Carolina. Why not?
What about a Lamar Jackson pick here?
I say no. I think he gets. Well, I think he gets taken next.
With the 24th pick.
Anything, Robert? Jason?
I like the Calvin Ridley, but I'm going to go DJ Moore here.
DJ Moore.
Oh, look at that.
DJ
Robert's
Moore.
right. No, too late. No, too late.
Robert,
Yeah.
do you have an ear piercing?
Yeah, I think he does.
I do have my
I think he's
headphones
checking
on.
Twitter.
Did I get that off in time? Okay,
you did.
Okay,
That-
good.
that
Because
was
I can't hear the
before him.
TV, to be fair.
No, it was right before it. Well done.
I was gonna say a D end, so I was wrong.
You didn't want to piggyback that DJ Moore pick at that point?
I already tried, but I think it was too late. DJ Moore's all right, but my biggest thing with him is that all of his playmaking and yards are after the catch, and I don't think that translates to the NFL as well as other things do.
Yeah, because your cornerbacks can tackle so much better than they can.
Everyone else is just faster in the
He's
NFL.
also a little guy. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, all his highlight is like screens and check down or like little curls, and I just don't think that does as much on the next level as it does.
You
Yeah.
can't say someone. Even though locker room issues held him back, but someone like a Percy Harvin kind of translated pretty well. Minus again his supposed migraine issues, which is probably just weed.
But Percy Harvin was like elite
It's
after
true.
the
That's
catch.
true.
This guy's like good
Yeah.
after the catch.
Okay, Baltimore is on the clock with pick 25. We now are getting so close to the Jaguars pick. It feels like we may never get there, but we will. That's the problem with being a championship caliber team. You pick later in the draft. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and say I think Lamar Jackson comes off the board right here for Baltimore at pick number 25 in the first round.
I would have to agree. Definitely the first choice. Flacco's bad back, different injuries, seems to have lost a little arm strength. Don't know if that's due to the injury or just getting older. If they don't, though, it's got to be wide receiver because their wide receiver core is abysmal.
Okay, I would say Lamar Jackson as well, but for the sake of being different, I'm gonna go Calvin Ridley. But I like Lamar Jackson.
I'm gonna say Calvin Ridley for
With
sure,
the
100%.
25th pick
Bank it.
Is it a lock?
Dang it, I gotta
Lock
switch
it
my
in.
pick then.
Lock it in. C-Rid.
Locked
Let's
and
go,
loaded.
boys.
Hayden Hurst.
Oh!
Jacksonville boy, Hayden Hurst, first tight end taken
Did
off the board,
not
going to
see-
Baltimore.
Did not see that coming.
No, neither did I.
Kind of hurts a little bit, but, I mean, if you need an offensive weapon, he's going to be good. He's going to translate well.
Yeah, I think it's a solid pick. I mean, I don't argue that he's going to be good. I just, again, I'll just say for the Jags, I don't think it's a value pick because I just don't think they utilize the tight end enough, and not because they haven't had one. I just don't think it's what they want to try and do.
This is something I was going to bring up earlier, but I don't think we had time to because of a pick. But the fact that he got the yips in baseball, does that give anyone reservations that it could happen in the NFL?
Well, he's not throwing it, first of all.
But he's catching, which is just as much as a focus
Yeah.
thing.
I mean, I thought actually the contrary. The fact that he overcame that, decided to reinvent himself.
What did he overcome? He changed sports?
Going from a pro baseball player to college.
He didn't
at that
overcome
age?
anything.
I think
He's
it's-
like,
I
I'm going
think
to just
it's-
change.
I think it's apples and oranges. I think it's totally different. I mean,
I'm just
throwing-
saying that the fact that he got past the fact that he completely failed at the sport that he was doing, went back to college and was good enough to make it in the NFL at that point. I mean, that's pretty freaking amazing.
No, I'd agree with you, but it wasn't that he failed. It was that he had a psychological breakdown. Like the yips isn't like you failed. The
I don't
yips
know.
is like you were really good and everyone thinks you're good, but you had a psychological breakdown. And now we're in a sport where he's good and everyone thinks he's good, and now he's at the highest level. What could possibly happen?
I just think the mechanics of throwing and catching are so different that it's a different yip. Maybe it's a different part of your brain. I
the
don't know.
mechanics are completely different, but the concentration and the focus and the pressure are the same. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, the dude that Michael Jordan gave the yips to, that wasn't baseball. And the dude couldn't hit a free throw or couldn't hit a shot for the rest of his career because the yips are psychological. And this dude has shown the fact that he has a fragile mind.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I don't want
people-
a fragile mind on my
people
team.
overcome the yips. I mean, there's a golfer, Kevin Na, who had it big time, and he's bounced back.
did he move
I
all the
think-
change from his left pocket to his right pocket?
No, he just took forever to putt and hit tee shots, and he's different. I mean, it's throwing a baseball from a mound, across a plate is totally different than being a tight end in the NFL. It's not you're on an island when you're a pitcher. It's basically you out there, and
Well, it's true, but
So
I mean, I never really.
it wouldn't stop me from signing him. I think what's interesting here is that you have a tight end taken before a wide receiver in the first round.
Yeah,
That speaks volumes to the lack of wide receiver talent in this draft. Okay, so Atlanta's pick is in. 26th pick. We're getting closer. My bedtime is in the rearview mirror for sure.
The coffee is worn off.
The coffee is worn off. I'm going to make it, though.
I'm feeling good, boys. I'm feeling good. Let's take this moment. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, we're at Another Jags Pod. And on Facebook and Instagram, we're at Another Jags Podcast. And you can find our podcast on any iTunes or SoundCloud or anywhere you find iTunes. And you can get Joey's fashion advice and James' top 10 correct picks. And then we're going to turn now to the Falcons' 26th overall selection.
We think so much of them, none of us
Taven
made a
Bryan.
prediction.
Taven Bryan.
Calvin Ridley. There you go.
Oh,
Calvin
That's a
Ridley off the
steal at
board.
26.
2 Alabama receivers now.
Dude, Calvin opposite Julio?
Yeah, it's
That's
not
pretty,
bad.
Pretty strong.
That's not bad at all. Atlanta's going to bounce back.
Does Atlanta only draft people from the SEC?
Yeah. Well, no, I'm at Ryan's ACC, so.
Yeah, but I mean, Julio,
For the most part.
Calvin,
No,
Keanu
Keanu
Neal.
Neal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Keanu
Keanu
Neal.
Neal.
I mean,
That's a good pick. That's
Nah,
a really good pick.
Yeah, that's gonna fit well.
I think everyone picking now is going to get a good pick. Because we've seen some kind of a lot of reaches in the first round. A lot more than I expected. I expected some, but not this many.
I can't believe there were so many trades, especially for non-quarterbacks.
There were a lot. What was it, 5?
Yeah.
There's
I think
a
the story
lot.
of the draft so far right now, though, to me is Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and then Ward at 4. I mean, it's hard for me to get past that. Nothing has been bigger than that.
I mean, the only thing worse than that is the hats. I mean, that, seriously, I can't get past the fact that Cleveland did that.
I know, it's crazy.
I was like, there's no way they can blow this.
The only 2 cornerbacks taken so far, Denzel Ward and Jair Alexander, which means that Josh Jackson, Isaiah Oliver are still available. I mean, maybe it's a
I don't
week.
think Josh Jackson makes it past New England. I think that's where he goes. I know Robert.
He's got to. I thought they were going to draft him at 21. He's got to go.
Although-
with their next pick.
Robert's theory holds true. Will Hernandez could go there, or Connor Williams.
James Daniel, center.
Cortland Sutton, by the way, who a lot of the mocks had going to the Jags, is still on the board. I won't like that pick, though.
There's a lot of wide receivers still on the board.
Yeah, I wouldn't be pumped about that
Oh.
pick at all.
Is anyone's pick from 2 podcasts ago still available?
Yeah. Harold Landry.
I picked Colton Miller. He's still available.
I had Lamar Jackson. He's still available.
James can't remember. 'Cause it's way past his bedtime.
It was an offensive lineman. I think it was Hernandez.
It was Hernandez. It was Will
Hernandez. You- yeah,
it
you
was
picked
Will
Hernandez.
All right, so we're still all on the board.
also
We're
on the
still
board.
all on the board for our pick.
All right.
Yeah, I've got like
Pick
3.
Joey. You have a pick for Seattle?
Yes, I think Seattle is going to go with Sutton.
I'm going Sutton too. Cortland out of SMU. Jason, you got anything? James, you got anything?
I'll say Connor Williams.
I'm going to say Harold Landry.
We need offensive line help big time.
Seahawks select Rashad Penny.
Whoa.
Running back, San Diego State.
Well,
Wow.
That's a Pete Carroll pick right there.
Wow.
Seattle's going
Probably a
downhill.
really good guy in the locker room.
Yeah, that's what I want. Is a good guy in the locker room at all
Probably
times.
stands up for.
That's
And he's great hair. Look at this
surprising.
guy.
That's surprising.
Looks like the Fresh
So-
Prince of Bel Air or something. No, what was that other guy from back in the 90s?
Kid and play.
Yeah, kid and
That's
play.
So they straight up skip Geist and Michelle for this guy?
Rashad Penny went to the Seahawks, had 23 touchdowns last year, 19 receptions for 139 yards, which means he's not a receiving back whatsoever. 7.8 yards per carry, 2,200 yards. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they overthought it. That's a terrible pick.
He did go to San Diego State, so
So did Marshall Falk.
he ran a 4.48. Not bad for someone that weighs 225 pounds, I guess.
I don't know, man. I think some people, they just get thinking they're too smart. Like James said, they're overthinking it. Like,
I mean, he's a one-cut guy. These guys don't usually go in the first round.
All right, Steelers pick is in. What are y'all thinking about for them? Well, I'll start off. I think they're going to probably go another running back, Sony Michel, Georgia. I think it'll probably be a good fit with Le'Veon Bell. I mean, at this point in time, I think they need to keep going with their offense, especially after how it ended up for them last year. So,
Well, they just traded Martavius Bryant, so they've just lost a wide receiver.
yep.
Cortland Sutton is on the board. They're a little weak at tight end. So there could be a tight end taken here. I'll go Dallas Goedert.
I think Sutton's got to go in this area, so I'm going with Sutton.
What? Did he do it? Terrell Edmonds.
What?
Boy, that was
Safety?
anticlimactic.
Ooh.
Jaguars are on the clock.
Woo!
We got to focus here. This is what it's all about.
All right, I'm awake now.
Okay, everyone awake, everyone focused. We're not even going to worry about what the Steelers did because we beat them twice. We're going to beat them again. It
That's
doesn't
not
matter
even
who they
top
did.
15 safety.
No.
All right, before I give you all my Jaguars pick, has Denzel Ward been picked yet?
Yeah, he was picked fourth
All
by
right,
Cleveland.
all right,
Okay,
okay.
picked fourth overall by Cleveland. I'm going to go ahead and go with the original pick that I had 2 weeks ago on our podcast and say it's Will Hernandez, offensive lineman. That's what I wanted them to go, and he's still there, so hopefully that's what they do. But I will say Lamar Jackson, Joey, is on the board.
I mean, I got to stick to my guns. Lamar's still there. I think we got to take him. We're so just well developed as a team. We don't have a huge need anywhere that we can't fill later on. Best available player. I think he could be electric.
Okay.
My original pick was Colt Miller, UCLA, and because that was my original pick, I committed early to picking whatever James picked. So I'm going to go back to Will Hernandez.
All right,
And I'm
all
going to piggyback off of James. And
Although
I'm
Josh Jackson is on the board.
Nope, I'm
You
doubling
loved
down
him?
on Will Hernandez.
Okay.
That means it is definitely Josh Jackson.
Yeah.
Robert,
you-
I am staying with my original. I'm going Harold Landry.
That is about the, 17th time you've picked him
I'm
for
gonna
this draft?
keep. I'm gonna keep saying his name until he goes.
Has
So.
Derwin James picked yet?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
Oh.
yes.
No,
should-
but it's Will Hernandez. Absolutely.
I think it's
100%.
Will Hernandez. I think, and if they get him, I think it's a great pick.
Absolutely.
I
I did not think he would make it this far, and I decided on earlier podcasts that I didn't think he would make it, and that's why we wouldn't pick him. So I hope we do.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people was reading this week saying the Jags need to trade up to get him. They haven't moved at all. They sat at 29, and now here he could be.
I just hope they don't do something crazy.
NFL.com has him ranked as the 15th best player overall. in the draft. I mean,
He's
that's
pro
one.
ready.
That's one source.
He's pro ready. He could start day one for us, which is what we need.
Perfectly happy with that.
And it adds depth on a position that you always need depth.
Pick his
Pick is in. Woo!
All right, here we go.
Man, that was quick.
that
boys.
was-
They
playing
know who they
around.
wanted.
That was quick.
I know Jacksonville was trying to sleep tonight.
Okay, here we are. The Jaguars pick is in. And, of course, well, I don't want to disparage anyone, but they're not really giving the Jaguars the attention that they deserve, to no one's surprise. Here we go, though. We've been waiting all night for this. Again, this is what happens when you're a championship caliber team. You pick later in the draft. But there's a lot of talent on the board, and obviously the big storyline is going to be, do they or don't they take Lamar Jackson? Joey's sticking with his guns, but it's more about should they do it, and I'm saying absolutely not. Let's see what they do here.
I mean, I don't want to jinx this, but can you really go wrong with this pick?
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I don't either.
Road to the Atlanta Super Bowl. Here we go.
Taven Bryan.
What?
What Florida.
What?
Okay.
Go Gators.
Jaguars selected Taven Bryan, defensive tackle out of Florida. A surprise to, I would say, everybody.
Even the cameraman, because he wasn't even on the wrong
You guys
spot
can
to follow him in.
All blame me for saying they couldn't mess the pick up. But, I mean, I was saying earlier.
I don't think they missed this pickup.
No, I mean, he's a great player, but
You know what I think this means? I think this means that they re-signed
With the 32nd
Dante Fowler.
pick.
I think
Yeah.
Malik's gone.
2018
I think
NFL
Calais is
draft.
probably gone.
The Baltimore Ravens
Darius
select
is gone.
yeah, it does.
And they're sticking with their young guy.
we do
They're
save-
adding to
we
their
do save a lot
strength,
of
which
money.
is the defensive line, which is, not a.
This dude is a freak.
This guy's
Taven
awesome.
Bryant is a freak athlete.
No, he was supposed to go like
His combine
16,
numbers
17. Yeah.
were freakish. Like, I'm telling you, this dude is a freak athlete. He was like the one bright spot on the entire Florida team.
Nah, he was supposed to go middle of first round. The fact that he dropped that low, I mean,
That was a steal.
that
This
was
is literally a steal. At
Absolute
this point.
steal.
6'5", 300 pounds, and ran a sub 540. That's
Nice.
freakish. 300 pounds.
And the fact
There's
that
a lot of money tied up in the middle of their defensive line. I will say that for
Yeah,
sure.
for
So-
sure.
I mean, Malik's gone. Calais, it has 1 year left.
Well, I'll say this. Clearly, the league knows something about Will Hernandez that we don't know.
That's what I'm wondering.
I mean,
because-
something must be up.
Yeah. That's kinda crazy.
Because that was the obvious pick, and they didn't go for it. And I'm on board with this pick. I mean, it caught me off guard, but
I mean, something else about him, though. I mean, he played that hard on an absolute crap team with a coach that mailed it in.
let me ask you this: what do they do with Avery Jones now?
I mean,
Wow.
this
Is
year's
he
his
gone?
contract year.
They just re-signed him.
But this year he has a team option. What was it? It's only a 2-year deal, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think he's only making $700,000 this year, and I think
That's depth. I mean, yeah.
Avery Jones has 1 year, $3 million. That's it.
This year? Oh, so that's not
Next
much.
year is his last year. And then he has a $500,000 workout bonus.
So I think this is a pick of listen, they did exactly what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
Best player available.
Taven
Did
Bryant was supposed to go like middle of the draft, first round. That is a steal. I mean, whether you like it or not, it's
absolute
a steal.
Not exciting, not flashy, but again, that's not what we're about now.
I mean, I don't know a ton about him, but I trust y'all's take on it. I wish they had gone offensive line, but I mean, again, clearly there's something up with Hernandez that he is continuing to just fall and fall and fall. So after them, there isn't any legitimate offensive line help. So get the next guy, and I think that might be Brian. Other people they could have gone with, Connor Williams was there. I'm super glad they didn't get Lamar Jackson. I'll say that. Sonny Michel was available. I don't think you go running back there. It's just too soon.
It would have been a reach.
It would have been a reach. So yeah, I'm happy with that pick.
Yeah. And
Again, we were never going to be doing cartwheels unless they had traded up and gotten someone at 29.
I mean,
He's a better pick than people think.
he's another guy that can
Yeah.
contribute pretty much right away as well, at least in some capacity. So
Yeah.
I mean, you got to take that into account.
And here's something else to consider with the Jags last year, especially defensively. They were so insanely healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be hard for them to duplicate that. So now adding depth to a crucial place on the field in the defensive line, which Coughlin emphasizes greatly, I think is a smart move as well. Their defensive line is legit, and they just made it better. So I'm okay with that.
I mean, this is the only thing and this is why I think it's a great pick. Our 4 top paid players next year are Calais Campbell at $15 million, Malik Jackson at $13 million,
Darius.
Bouye, who we're going to probably keep at $13 million, and Darius at almost $10 million. 3 of our top 4 highest paid players on our team are interior defensive
And they're
linemen.
also 3 of the top 4 oldest.
and
out of that group as well.
oldest. So chances are in 2020, none of those 3 are going to be on the team.
Yeah, so I guess that's looking ahead, man.
It is. It's planning ahead for sustainability.
And we talked about that window, so they clearly didn't go that route with our window being really short and wanting to try to get a starter this year. But that D-line rotation, golly,
Oh, it's just
man. If
nasty.
we don't lead
gonna
the
be
league
fun.
in sacks this year, then, fire Todd Wash because that D-line is nasty.
I like it, and if you're right, if you're saying that it's a way for them to keep Fowler, I like it even more because I think Fowler is continuing to improve and just get better and better. I've heard some people say that he's nothing better than an Andre Branch, which is ludicrous.
No.
He's going to be way better than that. And
Yeah.
if this, the goal is not to have a window of 2 years when you're building a team. It's to get to the point where you're winning and stay there. And so a lot of that just has to do with looking at the players that you have and realizing you can't keep them forever and you have to replace them. And that's what we did here with a really good player. I'll be interested to see, again, the process of Caldwell and Coughlin and what they went in and, where this guy was on their board. But I think they made a wise move here. Not at all what I thought, but I think they would have made a wise move.
Yeah, I know that the Fowler, like Andre Branch comparison is terrible because Fowler came off an injury and had 8 sacks as a glorified backup, essentially. I mean, that is way better than Andre Branch. I mean,
Well-
as a backup.
I'm excited because I thought Fowler was gone. I'd already kind of given myself into that. And he not only gets to the quarterback, but he's that guy that doesn't just get there like Ngakoue. But if he gets there, he's going to punish the guy. I mean, he's just got freakish power. And if that pick keeps him here, I even like it more.
I mean, he showed in his playoff games. He really stepped it up in the playoffs against the Bills and the Patriots. He showed in clutch situations why he's one of our best defensive linemen. Coming off an injury, he did pretty good. He was one of the most impressive performances at the Combine, like in general, not for his position, like in general. And that's why he shot up the draft boards playing on a Florida team that wasn't that impressive as a whole. That's why he was mocked to go 10 through 20.
All right, so real quick, just to wrap up the Jags pick, what's your grade? What do you give them on a A, B, C, D?
I think it's a solid B.
I think in the big picture, I'm going to say A-, just because of what it does contractually, how it frees them up, financially moving forward as well. Because, you got to be forward thinking. And I think, again, that's a strength of Caldwell. So I'm going to say, and this might be a homer pick, I don't know, but I'm going to say A-, B+.
I'm going to give us an A as Jags fans because not only are we talking about the Jags pick, but we've talked straight through the Minnesota pick, and we're almost talking through the New England pick.
That's right.
We're such big fans.
Who did Minnesota get?
I have no idea.
They got a running back or someone, a cornerback. They got
Yeah,
a cornerback.
the
It doesn't matter.
corner
We're
out
talking
of,
about the Jags. They finally picked.
The corner out of UCF, whoever it
I'm
was.
going to give the Jags picks. Initially, when I first saw it, I was going to give it a C, but after sitting back, looking at it, thinking about the contracts and everything, I'm going to say a solid B to B+.
I'm going to say A+.
Okay.
A freaking plus. I mean, the guy's a beast. He's been one of my favorite players to come out of Florida in a while. 4 sacks last year on a team that was, quite frankly, pathetic at times.
It's going to be nice.
When you watch, I mean, I'm a Gator fan, admittedly, and I watched every Gator game, and the only player outside of Goolsby that I would get excited about was Taven Bryant. Because on defense, he would defeat double teams, he would blow up plays in the backfield, and he would get effort plays that just blew me away.
Here's an interesting one. Do you think Lamar Jackson goes to New England?
He's mocked there in a lot of them. At this point, I mean, it's definitely possible.
Who do y'all think is going to go to New England? I'm going
No
to stick with
clue.
it. I'm going to go offensive line. I'm going to go James Daniels out of Iowa center. If not, Will Hernandez. But at this point in time, I'm really confused with Will Hernandez, so I'm
I
assuming
can't
it's not going to
begin
be
to
him.
get into the mind of Bill Belichick. I wish I could, but the man is a labyrinth. So,
I'm going to say Lamar just because that doesn't threaten Tom Brady. So I think that's a safe backup quarterback pick, and it's something that Belichick might be able to work with in the next couple of years, and if not, trade away like he does all the rest of them and get the team even better.
All right, the pick is in for New England.
Ooh.
Oh, running back.
Man.
All right.
Why did he have to go to our division?
Not going to lie, I forgot he was still on the board.
That out of the backfield with Brady, that's going to be so dangerous, man. That's probably my least favorite pick for the Jags in the entire draft.
I'm going to say meh.
Meh?
Did you watch him play last year?
Of course, but
I'm just
I mean, was he that much better than Nick Chubb?
Yeah. I absolutely think he was. I mean, not as far as like just general statistics go, but as far as his versatility. I mean, he could go for 800 on the ground and 500 in the air. Talk about Brady being able to use them. I mean, no bueno.
Brady could use anybody.
Yeah, and
Brady
this
could
guy's
use
got
me
all the
out there.
skills.
But I'm just saying, Nick Chubb, you could get Nick Chubb maybe in the 3rd round, and he's probably going to give you just as much as Sony Michel does. In my opinion. I feel you. He doesn't have the injury concerns that Nick Chubb does, but I don't know. 1st-round pick for Sony Michel. I know you were high on him, but
I think it's a stretch, but I think it's just a really good fit for the Patriots, unfortunately.
I mean, does he really break away from Rex Burkhead, James White, and Jeremy Hill?
Yes.
You would rather have him than any of those 3?
Yes.
Man, I don't know. James White
mean,
probably gives you exactly what – I mean,
It could be my SEC homerness coming into play, but I mean, I probably watched him play more than all the rest of those guys. But I mean, I think he's pretty much a guarantee to be dangerous in that offense.
He just never did anything to, like, super impress me. Like, he was good, but he never broke out of that staple of running backs that Georgia put out.
When Chubb was hurt, though, man, I think he did. I just don't think
Even
he
when
got the
Chubb was
opportunity outside of
hurt,
that.
I mean,
We'll see. I hope you're right. Trust me.
I'm not really scared of the Patriots. I don't think I think if they make the playoffs, they'll be lucky this year.
I'm more scared of the refs.
That's true.
Oh,
That's
that's
true.
great.
All right, the pick is in for Baltimore. What do y'all think is going to happen? Sutton?
Sutton.
I have to agree, and if they pull this off, that's got to be one of the top 2 or 3
Just to be
teams
clear
in the draft
again,
so far.
Unless they traded next year's first.
Whoa!
what? They
That's what we
traded
said-
in for Lamar Jackson?
Well, that's what we said earlier they were going to take, and they
Yeah,
didn't.
that's a steal.
They gambled that he would still be there, and he
He
was.
got so lucky. He's about to leave.
Wow.
That's a good pick.
That was a great pick.
Man, at least he got that first-round money, though, at least.
Yeah, good for him, man.
Seriously.
I think he earned
I
it
mean,
in
that's
college.
a big drop.
Absolutely.
He
It's a
earned-
big
he-
drop between first and second.
He earned a shot.
Well, what do y'all think?
Enjoy playing wide receiver at Baltimore because they don't have any wide receivers,
Well, I
bro.
mean, I initially said before they traded out the first time, I thought they were going to go with Lamar Jackson, and they were able just to keep trading down, collecting picks, and still get the guy that they probably wanted from the very beginning.
I mean, they
Like,
got
good
the-
on them. That's an A for them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't shake the Taven Bryant pick. Like, what? Where did that even come from?
But
Did one Did any of y'all see one person mock
No.
Taven Bryant
because
to Jackson?
everybody mocked them going 16, 17, 18, 19 to Dallas. I mean, he wasn't supposed to be there.
Which
so.
also makes a ton of sense why we drafted him. I mean,
I'm shocked. I didn't even have my mind prepared for this.
no.
But think about how much this organization's done shocking things in the past 2 years. I mean, I didn't see Norwell coming.
How about Bortles? That was out of nowhere.
I didn't see them re-signing him like that either, for the most part.
The Bortles draft.
A-Rob, getting rid of him. I picked
Yeah.
that, but that was kind of like a tongue-in-cheek to start with.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a plan, and they stick to it. It's worked so far. You kind of got to trust it.
Out of everyone, who do you think did the best in the draft?
I think the Ravens, I mean,
First, okay.
they nailed
Ravens?
it. Yeah, they nailed it.
I don't know, man. It's so early. I don't think I've had time to fully digest
Yeah, I
what
mean,
everyone's done. The
First
Saints
thoughts, though.
with Davenport did good.
Okay.
The Raiders with Colton Miller did good. The Chargers with Derwin James did good. The Jags, I thought, did really good with Taven Bryan. And like you said, the Ravens, man.
I also like the Falcons pick, man.
Yeah.
That fits their team well.
I think there was big winners and there was big losers. There wasn't like
I think we can agree Cleveland was kind of a loss at this point. in
yeah.
time.
I mean, the Ravens kind of reach for Hayden Hurst. Like they probably could have gotten Hayden Hurst with the 32nd pick, don't you think?
Probably, yeah. But I think they thought there was more of a chance that he would be gone than Lamar Jackson at that
That's
point.
crazy to think about, though.
I mean, they basically took both guys I wanted the Jags to take.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna go
say
ahead
that they nailed it.
I think there's a lot of good ones off of first impressions. I like what Baltimore did. I'm not crazy about the Lamar Jackson pick personally, but the fact that they were able to keep trading down, they were able to squeeze a tight end there and still probably get the player that they wanted from the very beginning without having to really give up anything. I mean, no matter how they turn out, at least they played it well.
You think about their team, though. I mean, they've got an older quarterback who was never the most mobile guy in the world to begin with, and they don't have any wide receivers, so you bring in a playmaker in case that guy gets hurt. I mean,
And a
just
tight end.
Put him in with a tight end that can make plays. I mean, those two guys alone could be enough offense for their defense to do something. So they did well.
Man, I don't know. You could have brought in a receiver in my mind that could given you what Hayden Hurst did. And you could have picked up like a Mark Andrews or a Mike Gesicki or a Dallas Goedert in the second round and could have gotten what you're going to get out of Hayden Hurst. They must have fell in love with Hayden Hurst. They picked him real early.
I mean, in the past 3 weeks, I think a lot of teams did. I mean, he really showed out well.
Those yips, though. You know, watch out for them yips.
Hey, man, I didn't think about it beforehand until you said that. I mean, there's a lot of pressure in the NFL, and if you got a weak mind, bro, I don't know.
That's for real, man. It's a psychological evaluation, man. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll be back next week to kind of give our new, refreshed thoughts after we give it a little bit of time.
I'm sure they'll be much different.
I'm sure it'll be completely different. But as of now, you've heard what we had to say. As you always know, you can follow us at Another Jags Pod on Twitter. You can also see us on Instagram at Another Jags Podcast, as well as Facebook at Another Jags Podcast. You can follow us at any of those social media platforms. You can also find us at any podcasting platform as well. Just do a little search of Another Jags Podcast. And we thank you for listening again, and go Jags.
Woo! Go Jags, man.